Hello SLAPAFISH community, welcome back to another World Tanks console video. So in this video, I'm going to be playing the Cobra Hiss, which is the Cold War's very first light tank. And it's also comes with the Ultimate Season Pass. It's also part of the G.I. Joe update. Also, one more thing. So if you like this video, consider subscribing because it helps the channel out a lot, and if you do, subscribe, thanks. And also to the people that are ready to subscribe, thank you. Helps out. Thank you. Anyway, let's talk about the Cobra Hiss. So, now the Cobra Hiss actually changes the game for Cold War a little. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, the Cobra Hiss is a light tank, and it has really, really good camouflage. Well, let me go by this. So, light tanks. In World War II, they're really good at spotting, staying hidden, and they're fast. Now, in Cold War, pretty much everything in Cold War is fast. So, light tanks having really high speeds doesn't really mean that much. I mean, it still matters, but the other tanks in the era, the other tanks can actually catch up to you. Also, I wanted to mention that that guy did not know I was here until I fired. And I fired because I keep forgetting I have 6 cents on this tank. Now, light tanks. When the light tanks do come into the game, which will be the Western Alliance tanks, light tanks. They're going to be set up different from the rest of the tanks. Remember how I said in my Cold War video, tips about Cold War, that you don't really need 6 cents, camouflage, or view range in Cold War because of true vision? Well, in light tanks, because they have, it looks like the meta for light tanks is going to be have a ton of concealment and will be able to like hide pretty much anywhere. Even though it's Cold War, even though it's true vision, you'll be seen, but if the enemy tanks are focusing on something else, they won't be looking around for you. But, so yeah, that's how it is. So basically, what do I have on this tank before I talk about anything else? I have the Advanced Concealment, Gun Stabilizer, Enhanced Target Info, and Traction System. Now my crew, I actually just took it out of my Chaffee and was like, hey, this looks like a very good crew for the tank. So it has Born Leader, Rapid Loading, 6 Sense, Situational Awareness, Run and Gun, Off-Road Driving, Green Thumb, Muffle Shot, and Camouflage Expertise. And I would definitely change the view range one for supply conservation, so my smoke and hole patch could load a lot faster. But this is my Chaffee crew. I didn't really want to change it around, so the crew what I have right now works perfectly fine. I just wish I had supply conservation on it. But anyway, what I'm saying is that light tanks, it looks like light tanks are going to be, they'll still have their speed, they'll still be fast, but the speed won't be as useful as it is in World War II. So basically what you probably want to do in your light tanks is just completely camo up. Because right now, okay, so anything under 250 steel concealment is amazing. But with my current loadout for the Cobra Hiss, my steel concealment is 108. That's extremely good. And if you remember, light tanks have the same steel concealment and the same moving concealment. So this will only work on light tanks. Because if you're in a medium or a heavy, or tank destroyers whenever they get added, then they couldn't do this setup because they'll lose a lot of their camo when driving. Only light tanks can do this. Have full camo out and just have amazing still concealment. Like, look at my circle. Look at my detection range. I can only be detected. There's only 2 ways I can be detected. If I'm proxy spotted, or if I fire. And you see, every time I fire, my detection range goes all the way out, and it shrinks all the way back in. Now, if anybody was in like a close enough range, when I fired, I would definitely be spotted. So, yeah, you can't stay completely hidden all the time. So you just gotta hold your fire. If you really, like, there was one match today where I played on Deadpool. Spawned about the same side, but the bases were in K1 and B9. So basically, all I did was I drove to the right side. I drove into the enemy base. This is the important part. I did not go over to the base circle, because whenever the base circle, they'll be like, wait, why is our base circle being capped? And they'll be looking around for me, because they'll be like, why is it being capped? So what I did, this is exactly what I did. I drove past every tank that was there protecting their base. And there was a lot of them. Like right here, where I'm driving right now, there was like 3 or 4 tanks. And I kind of just drove right past them. At first, I thought a couple of them seen me. Like, 2 of them looked straight at me. And they did nothing. And they just like, oh, well. Might have been like they might have thought it was like, oh, it might be somebody on my team. They didn't think it's an enemy because I wasn't detected. So I just kind of drove right past them. What I did is I drove into a bush. A big enough bush to hide the Cobra, the Hiss. Which is not a very easy task, especially on this map. But I did find like a big enough bush. And I sat there. And I was getting a ton of assisted damage. Now, I did die from that. Because one of the enemy tanks were like getting shot up in the spot it was going. And it started driving really, really close to me. And I was like, okay, I'm about to get proxy spotted. So I may want to put some shots into him before I run away. He wasn't coming towards me because his gun was pointing in the opposite direction. As soon as I fired, everybody on the enemy base like looked around. Was like, where did that light tank come from? It was funny. Because I was hiding in a bush, and I was just sitting in a bush, not firing or anything, just keeping my concealment and lighting up the entire enemy team for my tanks to shoot at them, and for my team to actually know the location of the enemy team. So, yeah, full concealment up on this tank, and be the true eyes of this tank. Also, I do have to mention the 90mm gun on this tank is actually pretty fun. Does 240 damage per shot. About a 3-second reload, what I have right now. Just with rapid loading and rations. No, wait, I don't have rations. Just a 3-second reload, 240 damage. It's actually a really nice gun. If you notice, I don't have premium rounds on this tank. Premium rounds are heat, so they will just get absorbed into space armor. And look at this flopping I'm doing right now. So, yeah, that's why I don't have heat on this tank. So, this is actually a very fun tank, especially when you load it out like I did. And, yeah, it's really fun, I have to say. I don't own this thing. I didn't buy the Ultimate Season Pass, but I kind of wish I did. I bought the regular Season Pass because I was like, I don't really want the Cobra. But since I have the Cobra on loan, I've been kind of liking it. Honestly. And occasionally it does bounce a couple of shots. So yeah. I got 3rd place. Didn't really too much to help my team out, but I was the ice, so I was lighting up everything on the enemy team. That's it for this video. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, also remember SLAPAFISH, because one original, and peace out, see ya.